Chosen one, listen to me very carefully and do not skip this. God just interrupted your algorithm because the spiritual warfare you have been fighting in secret is officially over. Your divine vindication is finally here right now. You are not watching this video by accident. Heaven is sending you an urgent message today. The cycle of pain is ending right now. If you have been feeling an overwhelming sense of exhaustion lately, do not ignore it. It is not normal fatigue, and it is definitely not your fault. You wake up every single morning feeling heavy. Your shoulders are tight from carrying a heavy burden. Your chest hurts before you even open your eyes. You push through your day, and you smile for everyone, but inside, your spirit is barely holding on. This is not a psychological breakdown, chosen one. What you are experiencing is a massive spiritual extraction. Your energy is being drained by someone who is hiding in plain sight. It is someone who always smiles at you. It is someone who proudly calls you family, and the truth about what this person has been doing in the dark is absolutely ugly. It is essential for you to acknowledge this truth today. For an extended period, you believed you were merely experiencing a difficult phase. You often found yourself blaming your sensitivity. You thought perhaps additional rest was needed, or questioned if you were somehow at fault. However, the universe is now intervening to reveal the reality. You have been enduring a significant spiritual attack, and the source of this attack is someone you regard as a sister. She has never truly been your friend, nor has she been a genuine sister to you. She entered your life presenting herself as a figure of love and support, patiently listening to your daily challenges. She falsely celebrated your accomplishments, all while secretly scheming to undermine your brilliance. She observed your pure essence and despised it. As a genuine empath, your spirit resonates at a frequency that threatens every negative force in the vicinity. This false sister recognized she could never attain your level of purity or replicate your heart's essence. Rather than confronting her own darkness, she chose to drag you into her despair, becoming a spiritual parasite in your existence. You entrusted her with your innermost thoughts, while she burdened you with her darkest pains. Your kindness became a means for her to elevate herself at your expense. Each time you felt drained after conversing with her was not mere coincidence. Your spirit was urging you to distance yourself. Your body reacted physically to her toxic presence. Yet, you remained because your heart is inherently good. You tend to see the best in others, even as they reveal their darker sides. You repeatedly forgave her subtle jabs, disregarded her passive-aggressive remarks, and excused her inappropriate actions, believing she was simply in pain. However, the divine is revealing to you now that she did not suffer. She sought to appropriate your precious energy. She craved your divine light desperately. The fatigue you are currently experiencing is the result of her spiritual theft. She has siphoned your tranquility, joy, and sacred protection, mistakenly believing she could do so indefinitely and that you would remain oblivious to her true motives. She evidently underestimated an essential truth. You are among the strongest of God's soldiers. She overlooked the fact that divine forces are vigilantly observing every act against one of the chosen. The universe is now revealing the truth, and the weight of divine justice is descending upon her as you reflect on these words. The protection she presumed to have is vanishing. It is important to recognize that this situation transcends mere gossip among friends. Her actions in the spiritual realm are far graver than you can fathom. She deliberately sought to obstruct your blessings while feigning support. She prayed for your misfortunes while holding your hand, secretly entrapping your soul. Yet, here lies the spiritual oversight she failed to foresee. In attacking you, she was assaulting what belongs to God. The karma she is currently facing is not simply retribution, but a profound divine correction. I will outline how her life is unraveling, But first, it is crucial for you to understand her motives. There is a significant reason she was unable to leave you in peace, a secret she fears you discovering. Once you grasp this secret, the pieces of your life will align, your exhaustion will dissipate, and your vibrant energy will be restored as you enter a powerful new chapter. The weariness you feel is a reflection of the burdens from a lineage that was unable to heal. You offered your purest love to this false sister, who in turn gave you her deepest traumas. It is perfectly valid to feel exhausted now. You invested your entire being into an insatiable void. She took all you had to give without reciprocating. The betrayal stings deeply because it was unexpected. You perceived friendship as a sacred connection. You fiercely defend your loved ones, while she regarded your friendship as a means to harvest your energy. While you advocated for her in public, she was quietly dismantling your reputation behind your back. Accepting this truth is painful. Remember those moments when you felt entirely depleted after exchanges with her, when your head throbbed for no apparent reason, and your anxiety surged as your spirit tried to alert you. You may have attributed it to external stressors, yet your physical self was, in reality, resisting a significant spiritual onslaught. Your elevated spirit was rebuffing her shadows. Before we delve into the specifics of her actions, it is important to ground yourself. Save this message so that you can access this clarity when necessary. You will need this divine protection as we uncover her dark secrets. The enemy may tempt you to dismiss this warning, but divine guidance encourages you to remain steadfast and reclaim your lost power. Do not allow her to emerge victorious in this silent battle. This situation has never merely been a trivial misunderstanding between friends. Observers may suggest that women experience drama occasionally and urge you to overlook it, but they failed to comprehend the spiritual dynamics at play. This constitutes a serious spiritual confrontation for your destiny. Her actions were not the result of a fleeting bad mood. She engineered her attacks against your character meticulously and intentionally. She studied your vulnerabilities to exploit them. She observed how you express love and weaponized your empathy. Whereas a typical person feels remorse when they harm someone they care about, a spiritual vampire thrives on your suffering. She drew energy from your tears of frustration. You exist in a realm of light and divine love, while she dwells in shadows and insecurity. When these contrasting energies collide, significant spiritual friction occurs. She could not tolerate being near you without attempting to diminish your light, as your mere presence highlighted her inadequacies. Your essence exposed her flaws. You are breaking generational cycles, carrying the keys to healing deep-seated family issues. You initially believed she was meant to share in your future blessings, yet the universe recognized her spirit was too corrupted for such a purpose. Heaven methodically removed her from your path, resulting in anguish for you. However, that painful separation has served as your salvation. You may assume she targeted you due to perceived weakness or vulnerability. Society frequently admonishes empaths to harden their hearts, asserting that kindness renders them easy prey for exploitative individuals. Yet this is a deceptive narrative. The spiritual reality of your situation diverges significantly from this misconception, and understanding this will reshape your entire perspective. They do not seek you out because you are vulnerable or defenseless. Instead, they are drawn to you because your kindness serves as a spiritual weapon that terrifies them. Your pure aura poses a significant threat to their dark domain. She recognized your strength long before you realized it yourself and remained close to you in an effort to manage your immense potential. Her aim was to keep you confined and limited, yet divine intervention has finally arrived to liberate you from this weariness. The spiritual veil has been abruptly lifted from your eyes today. You are now able to perceive her for the dark entity she genuinely is. The universe is establishing a firm boundary at this moment, guiding you toward a protected timeline filled with divine clarity while she is left behind in her own toxic chaos. She is already beginning to feel anxious as your energy begins to separate from hers, knowing that she can no longer draw sustenance from your radiant light. However, the most unsettling aspect for her isn't merely the loss of her favorite source of energy. Rather, it's the impending revelation of a dark secret regarding her past behavior that can no longer remain hidden. You have likely wondered why she appeared so competitive. You might have noticed the subtle changes in her expressions during your successes, offering you insincere smiles while her eyes reflected deep jealousy. The truth is that she didn't just aspire to be your friend. She secretly longed to usurp your identity and take your place. Her deepest secret is that she actually wanted to be you. She envied your natural grace and felt profound resentment for her own emptiness. Observing how effortlessly you drew genuine love and respect infuriated the demons within her hollow spirit, knowing she could never achieve that admiration on her own. She sought your divine favor without the willingness to undertake any spiritual work. As a high-frequency soul, you naturally radiate light in any environment, effortlessly making others feel acknowledged. Your mere presence has a healing effect on the energy around you. Yet, to a spiritual parasite, your healing nature is a blinding light that fiercely illuminates the dark corners of her unresolved trauma and hidden shame. She became acutely aware that she could not compete with someone chosen for a higher purpose. Desperate to mirror your vibrant personality, she imitated your style and mannerisms. However, others could instinctively perceive the stark contrast between your genuine light and her hollow charm whenever she spoke. Feeling utterly empty inside, she resorted to planting subtle seeds of doubt within you. She made small sarcastic remarks about your aspirations and isolated you through deceitful whispers. Her objective was to undermine your confidence, aiming to make you reliant on her while trapping your powerful spirit in a restrictive box. She desired to be your sole source of validation. You likely believed you were supporting a friend in need, offering her your understanding and believing her dramatic narratives. Yet, what the divine is revealing to you today is that her victimhood was a calculated tactic meant to siphon your empathy and keep you distracted. Each time she manufactured unnecessary drama, she crafted a spiritual feast, unloading her emotional burdens onto your pure energy, leaving you depleted. She thrived on the energy she extracted from you, convinced she had successfully manipulated the spiritual system to her advantage. While she appeared content and prosperous in her fabricated reality, you were left struggling to find the strength to rise each morning. Yet, she made the critical error of forgetting that a chosen one is safeguarded by supreme divine forces. The universe allowed her to play her little games long enough to record each instance she smiled in your presence while plotting against you. With every deceitful word she spoke behind your back, she dug a karmic grave for herself. Her false sense of spiritual protection has now vanished. You are justified in feeling the sudden and intense shift in her energy. Your spirit guides are hastily awakening you to safeguard your destiny. They have forcibly barred her from your sacred space, clearing the path for the ultimate blessings that are swiftly approaching your life. Your season of prosperity has finally arrived. While it's natural to feel a sense of loss for someone you cared about, do not waste another tear on the individual who attempted to diminish you. She is now facing the grim consequences of her actions against one of God's anointed. Her time for reckoning has come, yet this is merely the tip of the iceberg regarding her deceitful machinations. You may believe you have seen the worst of her false persona, but the universe is about to unveil the depths of her betrayal in a way that will send shivers down your spine. Everything you thought you understood is about to shift dramatically. You envisioned a future where you both celebrated your achievements together, But today, heaven seeks to impress upon you a harsh truth. She was never meant to be your true friend. Rather, she served as a temporary and brutal spiritual test to evaluate whether you would guard your sacred energy. You carry a significant generational blessing requiring rigorous spiritual discipline. The divine could not entrust you with your rightful inheritance while you remained entangled with destructive forces. Her presence was intended to illuminate what a false vibration truly looks like, and she executed her dark role flawlessly. Let us consider the distinction between light and heavy shadows. You are a being of immense light and unconditional divine love, thriving in a realm where authenticity is the only true measure. In contrast, she dwells in the lower frequency of manipulation and toxic survival. The worlds you inhabit were never destined to exist in harmony. The tension between them was unavoidable. Every time you sought to elevate the discussion to a level of healing and growth, she resolutely dragged it back into the realm of gossip and despair. She thrived on chaos, for chaos was the only language her wounded spirit comprehended. Her objective was to keep you in a state of confusion, thus preserving her illusory sense of superiority. However, your spirit guides consistently whispered truths in your ear, prompting you to notice the subtle discrepancies in her extravagant tales. You sensed an uneasy twist in your stomach every time she embraced you, a manifestation of your spiritual intuition striving to repel her psychic influences. Deep down, you were aware that your spirit had alerted you about her deceptive energy long before she finally unveiled her true self. You sensed that something was profoundly amiss. Tragically, while you endeavored to justify her difficult days, she meticulously noted your vulnerabilities. She pinpointed precisely what could bring you to tears and identified the buried wounds of your childhood, using that sacred information to undermine you covertly. She believed her manipulations were invisible to others and boasted to acquaintances about her ease in controlling your emotions. In her arrogance, she genuinely considered herself the most intelligent presence in the room, neglecting the universal laws of spiritual equilibrium that govern the unseen realm. It is impossible to siphon light from a chosen one without incurring severe repercussions. The universe operates on an unyielding system of divine balance and karmic debt. Each time she intentionally depleted your energy, she entered into a spiritual contract that she could never repay. Essentially, she mortgaged her own future for a momentary disturbance to your peace. This decision was a grave error. She believed you to be her simplest target, but you ultimately became the most challenging lesson the universe had to offer her. Your current silence is neither a sign of weakness nor defeat. Instead, it represents a formidable spiritual boundary that is diminishing her dark essence. She longs for your reaction, for your anger would lend validation to her wretched existence, yet you have resolved not to grant her that satisfaction any longer. You are stepping back, allowing the universe to address her accordingly. You have successfully navigated the most arduous spiritual trial of your life, demonstrating that your heart remains untainted, despite the brutal attacks from someone you once loved. Your significant reward is swiftly approaching your timeline. This marks the onset of a profound divide. You are crossing over into a realm of immense abundance and clarity, while she finds herself ensnared on the other side of the divide, contending with her own inner demons. This separation is permanent, as your energies no longer resonate at the same frequency. You have emerged as a soaring eagle, while she opted to remain in the muck alongside the snakes. However, the universe did not merely remove her from your peaceful existence. It orchestrated her downfall using her own malicious intentions. I will share the specifics of how this divine karma is currently unfolding, but first, it's essential to comprehend the intricate trap the heavens laid for her. This is a pivotal revelation in your spiritual journey, as she unwittingly walked into a karmic ambush of her own design. Understand that none of her actions went unnoticed by the divine council. The universe observed every disingenuous smile and heard every whispered deceit. The cosmic trap that has just ensnared her is nothing short of magnificent. She mistakenly believed she was constructing a splendid throne while maligning you behind your back. In reality, she was erecting her own spiritual prison. Her arrogance blinded her to this truth, as the universe permitted her to continue speaking, ultimately revealing her dark nature. She has effectively dismantled her own standing. For an extended period, God offered her ample grace, providing numerous opportunities for repentance and reform, yet she foolishly misinterpreted this divine patience as universal endorsement, genuinely believing she could continue extracting your energy without repercussions. Now, the universe has stripped away her protection. Her facade is crumbling, and those she sought to turn against you are awakening to reality. The cosmic veil is being forcefully lifted from their eyes, allowing them to perceive her toxic essence in full light. All her carefully constructed fabrications are swiftly collapsing, leaving her bereft of control over the narrative she orchestrated. She once relied profoundly on your radiant light to enhance her own image. You served as the anchor that made her appear somewhat normal. Yet, in your absence, her aura now exudes darkness and weight. People are beginning to feel uncomfortable in her presence, instinctively distancing themselves from her harmful energy. The very aspects she appropriated from your life are disintegrating in her hands. The fraudulent opportunities she manipulated are unraveling before her eyes. Karma has arrived at her doorstep today, and this divine retribution is deafening. She once thought she achieved victory by excluding you from her life, but in reality, she has gained nothing. In her desperation, she seeks a new target to exploit, an empath to sustain her ravenous, empty spirit. However, the universe has permanently branded her soul with a warning sign, allowing other chosen ones to detect her ulterior motives from afar. She is becoming increasingly isolated in her own sorrow. You have often wondered when true justice would finally manifest, silently shedding tears over your profound sense of misunderstanding in the world. However, heaven was quietly compiling the ultimate evidence against her while you tended to your healing heart. The cosmic judge has reviewed her case, and the final verdict has arrived. She is now enduring a terrifying spiritual exposure in public. All her darkest secrets are rising to the surface for everyone to witness. Restlessness haunts her at night as guilt screams in her ears, and the serene silence she once cherished is now poison to her peace. She is relentlessly tormented by the repercussions of her actions toward you. This represents the divine vindication you have long awaited. You need not lift a finger to defend your honor. There is no need to explain your perspective to anyone anymore, for God is speaking on your behalf in resounding volumes. The universe is engaging in your battles, allowing you to sit back and observe her unraveling. Your name is being vindicated in circles you have yet to step into. The deceptive narrative she constructed is swiftly collapsing today. The undeniable truth stands tall, cleansing away the toxic shame she forced upon you. Those who once doubted you are beginning to recognize the manipulation they fell victim to. Observe how rapidly her entire fraudulent empire disintegrates under divine pressure. She built an enormous structure on a fragile foundation of lies and appropriated energies. Currently, a spiritual tempest is striking her facade with tremendous force, leaving her with nowhere to hide. The facade she maintained has reached its expiration. She despises her dark reflection, yet the heavy karma descending upon her goes beyond mere public disgrace. It is not merely about her social standing or her insincere circle of acquaintances. These are superficial repercussions for her actions. The true consequences she faces in the unseen realm are far more severe than what one might observe physically. Heaven is meticulously orchestrating a catastrophic energetic collapse for her, manifesting as an ominous spiritual void from which she cannot escape, and she cannot manipulate her way out of this divine confinement. She is being stripped of every ounce of light she wrongfully collected. The current energetic collapse she is experiencing acts as a complete disconnection from the divine source. She once drew vitality from your luminous aura, but now that the protective link has been permanently severed, she finds herself devoid of energy, completely relying on an empty reservoir. The darkness within her is extinguished, leaving her with an unexplainable physical weight. Every attempt she makes to manifest positivity is actively obstructed by the universe, and her efforts to forge new relationships crumble almost instantly. The unseen realm regards her as a spiritual virus in need of permanent quarantine. She is trapped in a relentless cycle of her own making, with the walls of her fabricated reality tightening around her. The exhaustion she imposed upon you has now been returned to her, and she finds herself waking at 3 a.m. with a racing heart and crippling panic. An overwhelming dread envelopes her, as her dark essence understands its time is up. She is experiencing the same bitter poison she secretly poured into your life. Unable to maintain her charming facade any longer due to the exhausting spiritual toll, her true misery is now etched into her physical appearance. People instinctively feel compelled to distance themselves from her, and she is becoming a specter in her own existence while your star continues to rise. The contrast is striking, a manifestation of divine retribution against a spiritual parasite. She sought to trap you, but instead, she fell into the pit she dug for you. Although she screams for assistance, the universe has muted her cries. No one is coming to her aid in confronting the weight of the karma she proudly crafted. She must endure the darkness entirely alone. You have survived the worst of her machinations without breaking, maintaining your heart's warmth despite her efforts to harden it. God witnessed your dignified exit from her toxic scenario, and having passed this arduous test, Heaven is now unlocking a vast array of blessings for you. Your spiritual account is overflowing. While she observes from the outside, you are stepping into your promised land, radiating peace that torches her dark essence. She would do anything to regain your favor, yet the spiritual door between you is firmly locked from within. She has permanently lost access to your sacred energy and now realizes that you are the best ally she ever had. She valued only temporary diversions over your priceless essence, leading to profound regret that suffocates her daily existence. She will never encounter another soul as pure as yours again. Allow the universe to manage her demise while you focus on your healing journey. There's no need to check her social media for signs of her suffering. I assure you, her spiritual reality is sheer torment. The scales of cosmic justice have decisively tipped in your favor today. Your triumph is unmistakable and conclusive. The space she occupied in your life is now entirely clear, beautifully unburdened. The toxic remnants have been vigorously swept away by the winds of heaven. A void that the universe never allows to remain empty will be filled with something extraordinary. A magnificent supernatural reward is swiftly approaching you. God is prepared to replace everything she took from you with something vastly superior. You may have lost a superficial sister, but you are about to gain a divine community that genuinely reveres your elevated spirit. This is merely the beginning of your blessings. When this portal of abundance fully opens, your reality will experience a profound transformation. Prepare your spirit urgently for the forthcoming changes in this new chapter. The universe is ready to crown you with the ultimate victory. The dark days of anguish are behind you. A golden era of your life is unfolding. What precisely does this supernatural reward entail? The adversary wants you focused solely on her betrayal's pain, but heaven requires you to redirect your gaze toward the brilliant light approaching. The cycle of trauma ends here. paving the way for the era of abundance to begin. You are stepping out of conflict and into your divine sanctuary. Take a deep breath and release all burdens. The rigorous spiritual battle you fought in obscurity is concluded. You need no longer don your heavy armor. The fatigue that lingered within you is finally dissipating. Heaven has entirely cleared the battleground. The oppressive energy that suffocated you for so long is gone forever. You're now safe.